Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Short and Shivery, 30 Chilling Tales, retold by Robert D. Sanssouci and narrated by Mark Hammer.
Introduction. Welcome. Since you've taken a look in this book, I guess it's safe to assume you like to read spooky stories. I must admit that I enjoy a good shudder myself. The 30 stories in this book will introduce you to ghosts, goblins, and assorted other monsters. But beware. These creatures that are lurking in the shadows along a deserted street, or glimpsed in a lightning flash outside your window on a stormy night, or have just put a claw on the knob of the door into this room, gotcha, are pretty creepy customers. Before you read any further, you might want to turn up the lights a bit or hang a clove of garlic on the wall, just in case. Over the years, I've read or heard hundreds of spooky stories, and I've found that some of the best are folk tales that have been shared by people in moonlight or candlelight or electric light, sometimes for hundreds of years or more. Many such tales were handed down from storyteller to storyteller countless times before someone finally wrote them down. Often they were changed slightly with each retelling, as the storyteller added his or her own details and a bit of local color. But the heart of such a story remains the same, no matter how many different ways it's told. It has the power to capture our imaginations, give us a thrill of excitement, and chill us at the same time, and make us look at ourselves and our place in the world in a different way. And it might just reassure us that good can triumph, evil doesn't go unpunished, and courage can help us face down even the most frightening monsters. The stories here come from many different times, from a variety of cultures, and from countries all around the world, but they have one thing in common. They're scary. In these pages you'll encounter a dancing Japanese skeleton that tricks a murderer, a Russian vampire who plagues a peaceful village, a Canadian werewolf who haunts a winter forest by moonlight, a haunted gold mine in the Old West, a clay statue that comes to life, a ghost in Iceland who returns from the dead to claim his bride, a goblin pony that takes his riders on a fearful Halloween journey, a boy who spies on a witch in colonial America and learns the terrible price of meddling with black magic, a brother and sister who battle an African demon, and a monster so strange that everyone sees it differently, and no two people can agree what to call it. I've retold these stories in my own way. Sometimes I've just changed or added a few details, shortened a very long tale, or made the old-fashioned language a bit easier to understand, as in the case of Washington Irving's fearsome Adventure of the German Student. Sometimes I've taken a very brief incident and expanded it to a full-length story, to satisfy my own curiosity about what might have happened to the people in the story if the original storyteller had told it in a slightly different way. The story of the ghostly little girl and her 3 best friends is a good example of taking an account that was only a few paragraphs long and making it into a longer story. Sometimes I have combined several very short tales into a single story. The Hunter in the Haunted Forest weaves together into a single narrative 3 brief Teton Sioux stories of warriors who met ghosts when they were alone in the wild. Once in a while, as with the legend of the Segua, a Central American demon which haunts the roads by night and drives travelers mad with its horrible appearance, I've used a description of the creature and its history as the basis for spinning my own original story around such lore and legend. What I've tried to do is make these stories my own, and share them in a way that you, the reader, can enjoy them and make them your own. I hope you'll have as much fun discovering these shivery tales now as I did finding them earlier and retelling them. So, happy reading. And if you think you hear something scratching at the window, or a footstep in the empty room overhead, just remember, it's only your imagination. Probably.